Let's be honest, for most of your life, society has told you a quiet story about your body. You were raised to believe that self-pleasure was something private, maybe even shameful, something that grown women were supposed to outgrow. It was acceptable in your youth, perhaps even whispered about in your 40s, but after 50, most women were told it no longer belonged in their vocabulary. But what if that belief was not only outdated? What if it was harmful? What if the very thing you've been taught to silence could actually hold the key to your vitality, balance, and inner peace in this stage of life? I'm Dr. Christina Northwell, a gynecologist with over 30 years of experience helping women navigate menopause, hormonal changes, and the physical transitions that come with aging. And over the decades, I've discovered something that completely transforms how we should think about self-care after 60. It's this: your intimate health is not separate from your overall health. The way you connect to your own body, emotionally, physically, and yes, even sexually, directly influences your energy, mood, sleep, and cognitive sharpness. In fact, new research from the Mayo Clinic and the National Institutes of Health shows that maintaining a positive connection with your body supports hormone regulation, reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and keeps your pelvic tissues healthy and active well into your 70s and beyond. Yet, so many women I meet have spent decades avoiding that connection. They've been told that after menopause, intimacy doesn't matter, that pleasure belongs to a younger version of themselves. Some women even admit to me in quiet voices, "Dr. Northwell, I just don't feel anything anymore," or "I thought that part of me was gone." And every time I hear those words, I can feel the sadness behind them. The truth is, your body hasn't failed you. It's simply waiting for attention, waiting for you to reconnect. When you stop engaging with your body, when you stop touching, exploring, or even allowing yourself to feel, your brain begins to forget those pleasure signals. The pelvic region receives less blood flow. The tissues become thinner, less elastic. The hormones that once supported confidence and vitality begin to fade more quickly. Over time, that physical disconnect can spill into emotional distance. You might feel less joyful, less energetic, or less like yourself and not understand why. Many of my patients describe it as going a little numb, both physically and emotionally. But what's really happening is a loss of communication between your mind and your body, a signal that your nervous system, your hormones, and your sense of self are drifting apart. And that's why I created this video, to remind you that this chapter of your life is not the end of intimacy. It's the beginning of a deeper kind of connection, one that nurtures your health, your hormones, and your sense of identity as a woman. In this 5-part series, I'll be sharing 5 intimate self-care secrets that every woman over 60 should know, truths that most of us were never taught, but that can restore comfort, confidence, and vitality. You'll learn how your body's natural chemistry supports pleasure, why neglecting self-touch can actually accelerate aging in the pelvic region, how shame affects your hormones, and simple, evidence-based ways to bring balance back, safely, naturally, and without embarrassment. Because this isn't just about sex. It's about health. Your pelvic health influences your heart, your brain, your bladder, your bones, and even your emotional well-being. Studies from the Cleveland Clinic and Harvard Medical School confirm that women who maintain healthy intimate function often experience better circulation, stronger muscles, lower blood pressure, and improved mood regulation. So, let's shift the narrative together. Aging is not a time to retreat from your body, it's a time to rediscover it. If you could make one small change in how you care for yourself, one that reignites your energy, strengthens your pelvic floor, and reconnects you to your inner spark, would you do it? Stay with me, because in this first part of our journey, I'll show you exactly how years of rushed or mechanical self-touch may have numbed your sensitivity, and how you can begin retraining your body to feel again, naturally and gently. Before we dive in, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe for weekly evidence-based health advice, and share it with a friend who deserves to feel vibrant and confident again. Now, let's begin with the first secret: how mindless self-pleasure can quietly dull your body's natural response, and how you can reverse it for good. When we think about self-pleasure or intimacy after 60, Many women assume the topic is purely emotional or personal, something that belongs in private conversations, not in medical discussions. But as a gynecologist, I can assure you that your body's intimate health is one of the most scientific, measurable indicators of your overall well-being. Let's begin with something very simple yet often overlooked: blood flow. Every time you experience arousal, whether through gentle self-touch, affection, or even imagination, your pelvic region receives an increase in blood circulation. This blood flow delivers oxygen and essential nutrients to the vaginal and clitoral tissues, keeping them elastic, hydrated, and responsive. Without that stimulation, those tissues can gradually thin and dry out, a condition known as vaginal atrophy. According to research from the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Medical School, vaginal atrophy affects over 50% of postmenopausal women, often leading to burning, tightness, pain during intercourse, or even urinary tract infections. The surprising truth? These changes are not inevitable. They're largely preventable when circulation and hormonal support are maintained through gentle engagement with your body. Here's what happens biologically. When you stimulate these areas, your body releases nitric oxide, a natural chemical that relaxes blood vessels and promotes circulation. This process not only nourishes your tissues, but also helps your body maintain collagen production and nerve sensitivity. Over time, this consistent stimulation supports both pelvic tone and bladder control. In other words, intimacy isn't just about pleasure, it's your body's built-in maintenance system. Then, there's the neurochemical connection. When you touch your body with awareness and patience, your brain releases oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. Oxytocin reduces cortisol levels, the hormone associated with stress, and helps regulate mood, sleep, and heart health. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, have found that regular oxytocin release can even improve memory and cognitive sharpness in older adults. But when intimacy is rushed, mechanical, or disconnected from emotion, what I call mindless stimulation, the body doesn't receive the same benefits. You might experience a momentary high, but not the deeper, restorative cascade of hormones that rebuild the nervous system. Over time, this kind of stimulation conditions your brain to expect intensity without connection, leading to desensitization. Desensitization is a real neurological process. It occurs when your body's sensory receptors are repeatedly overstimulated by the same pattern, often through fast, repetitive, or high-intensity vibration. The brain adapts by lowering its sensitivity threshold. This means that gentle or natural touch begins to feel dull, and you may find it harder to respond to a partner's touch or even your own. It's not because your desire is gone, it's because your nervous system has adapted to efficiency rather than connection. And that's not your fault. Most of us were never taught how our nervous system responds to touch. But just as a muscle can be retrained, so can your sensitivity. Studies from the Cleveland Clinic show that when women practice slow, mindful touch and relaxation techniques, sensitivity can return within weeks, sometimes even improving beyond what they felt before menopause. It's important to remember that your brain, your hormones, and your pelvic tissues form a communication network. Every time you engage with your body consciously, you're reinforcing that connection. You're sending a signal that says, I still need this part of me. It still matters. That message triggers a biological response: better circulation, stronger tissue health, and a more balanced hormonal environment. On the other hand, when you stop engaging altogether, your body interprets that silence as neglect. Blood flow slows, estrogen production declines more sharply, and the vaginal tissues become less responsive. Think of it like a garden that hasn't been watered in months. It doesn't die overnight, but it gradually loses vitality until it feels impossible to revive. The good news is that your body can be watered again. It's resilient, capable, and ready to respond when given the right care. In my practice, I've seen women in their late 70s who thought their sensual lives were long over, only to rediscover comfort, warmth, and energy within a few months of gentle reconnection. One patient told me, I didn't realize how much of myself I had forgotten until I felt alive again. That moment of reconnection is what true health looks like, not just the absence of disease, but the return of joy, confidence, and vitality. So, if you've spent years avoiding this part of your life, please know it's not too late. Your nervous system can relearn, your tissues can heal, your hormones can recalibrate. Science confirms that at any age, when you stimulate your body's natural rhythms, you support not only sexual health, but also cognitive function, circulation, and emotional balance. In the next part, we'll explore how subtle habits, the small, seemingly harmless mistakes many women make, can silently work against this healing process. From over-reliance on devices to ignoring emotional connection, we'll uncover what to avoid so you can restore your body's natural rhythm the right way. By now, you understand that your body is remarkably adaptive, capable of renewal, healing, and even rediscovering pleasure well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. But there's something that often gets in the way of this renewal: the quiet, everyday mistakes many women make without realizing they're harming their own sensitivity and emotional well-being. These mistakes are not born of ignorance or neglect. They're the result of decades of misinformation and silence. Let's start with the first one: rushing the process. Many women tell me, "Dr. Northwell, I just want to get it over with," or "I do it quickly, so I don't feel awkward." This rushed, mechanical approach conditions your body to respond only to intensity and speed. Over time, your nerve endings adapt, your brain stops associating touch with relaxation or comfort, and sensitivity begins to fade. The result is what medical professionals call desensitization, a reduced ability to feel pleasure or even basic physical response. It's not your fault. Most of us were never taught that self-pleasure should be slow, mindful, and connected to breath. When you approach it with tension or shame, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol, which constrict blood flow and make arousal more difficult. Studies from the National Institute of Health show that chronic stress directly impairs sexual function in women by tightening blood vessels in the pelvic region. So, when you rush, your body literally can't relax enough to respond. The second mistake: depending solely on external devices. Vibrators and similar tools can be helpful, but when used frequently or only at high intensity, they can train your body to expect unnatural stimulation. The Cleveland Clinic has documented cases where women report needing increasing levels of vibration just to feel anything at all. This doesn't mean you must give them up entirely, but moderation and variation are key. Think of it like exercise. If you only ever do one repetitive motion, one muscle group becomes overworked while others weaken. Your body, like your muscles, thrives on diversity and gentle variation. The third mistake is more emotional than physical: avoiding your body out of shame. This is one I see every week in my office. Women cross their legs, avert their eyes, and whisper, "I just don't think about that anymore." But beneath those words, there's often a layer of guilt that has been building for decades. Many of you were taught, from a young age, that pleasure was improper, something only young or unmarried women should care about. That emotional repression creates physiological tension. The body holds that shame in the muscles, especially in the pelvic floor. According to Harvard Medical School's Mind-Body Institute, unprocessed emotional stress can manifest as chronic pelvic tension, which restricts blood flow and increases pain sensitivity. So, when you tell yourself that you shouldn't care about pleasure anymore, your body listens, and it starts to shut down those neural pathways. Another common misconception is the idea that if I'm not in a relationship, I don't need to worry about intimacy. This couldn't be further from the truth. Your body's need for touch, stimulation, and hormonal balance doesn't depend on whether or not you have a partner. In fact, the Mayo Clinic emphasizes that solo sexual activity provides many of the same health benefits as partnered intimacy: improved circulation, reduced stress, stronger pelvic muscles, and higher endorphin levels. The message here is simple: your relationship with yourself is a form of healthcare. Then there's the subtle but powerful mistake of disconnecting emotionally while engaging physically. Some women perform the act of self-pleasure almost like a task, something to check off, or even as an attempt to fall asleep or relieve stress without truly being present. This disconnect between physical action and emotional awareness prevents your brain from releasing oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins, the chemicals responsible for pleasure, bonding, and emotional satisfaction. Without them, the act becomes hollow, reinforcing numbness instead of healing it. Finally, one of the most damaging misconceptions of all, believing it's too late. I've heard it countless times. At my age, what difference does it make? Or, that part of my life is over. But nothing could be further from the truth. Science has shown that neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections, continues throughout life. That means your capacity for pleasure, connection, and intimacy never expires. The only thing that changes is how you nurture it. I once worked with a patient named Eleanor, a 68-year-old woman who told me she hadn't experienced any physical pleasure in more than 15 years. She said it didn't seem age-appropriate. Together, we worked on gentle reconnection practices, deep breathing, light touch, pelvic stretches, and mindfulness. Within a few months, she began to feel sensations again. But more importantly, she began to feel joy again. She told me it wasn't just about my body waking up. It was like I woke up. That's the transformation I want for you, not just physical healing, but emotional renewal. You can break the cycle of numbness and reclaim your vitality at any age. It starts with awareness, recognizing these mistakes, and then choosing a kinder, slower, and more compassionate approach to your body. In the next section, we'll take that awareness one step further. You'll learn specific, practical steps, scientifically backed techniques to rebuild sensitivity, improve blood flow, and restore balance in your hormones and emotions. These are not abstract ideas. They're daily practices that can truly reshape how you feel in your body and in your life. Now that we've uncovered the most common mistakes women make when it comes to intimate self-care after 60, let's focus on what truly works. Healing your connection with your body isn't about radical change or complicated routines. It's about consistent, mindful care rooted in science. The good news is that your body can relearn sensitivity, rebuild elasticity, and restore comfort at any age. All it takes is awareness, patience, and practice. Let's walk through this step by step. Step 1. Rebuild the mind. Body connection, the first step, isn't physical, it's mental. You can't heal what you secretly resent or avoid. So start by releasing the guilt or embarrassment that often surrounds this topic. Remember, caring for your intimate health is not indulgence, it's medicine. Each day, take just 5 minutes to breathe deeply and place your hand gently over your lower abdomen. Close your eyes and remind yourself, this part of me still matters. It may feel awkward at first, but this small act signals to your nervous system that it's safe to reconnect. According to the Harvard Mind-Body Institute, this kind of mindful self-awareness activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore mode that allows blood flow, relaxation, and sensitivity to return. Over time, this practice reduces pelvic tension and increases natural lubrication. Step 2. Stimulate circulation naturally. Healthy blood flow is essential for pelvic health. Without it, tissues can dry, nerves lose responsiveness, and discomfort develops. But you can change that naturally. Here's a simple 3-minute circulation routine I teach my patients. Pelvic tilts. Sit or lie comfortably and slowly tilt your pelvis forward and back, syncing movement with your breath. This movement gently pumps blood into the pelvic region. Bridge pose. Lying on your back with knees bent, lift your hips off the floor and hold for 10 seconds, then lower. Repeat several times. This strengthens the glutes and pelvic floor. Gentle hip circles. Standing, place your hands on your hips and draw slow, circular motions. This helps open tight muscles and increases warmth through the lower body. According to the Cleveland Clinic, regular pelvic movement and muscle engagement significantly reduce the risk of atrophy, incontinence, and even lower back pain. These are not sexual exercises. They are core components of lifelong pelvic health. Step 3. Practice mindful self-touch once your body feels comfortable and relaxed. Begin reintroducing self-touch, not as performance, but as care. Find a quiet, private space where you can slow down and simply explore. There is no goal here. The purpose is to retrain your nervous system to associate touch with calm, not urgency. Start with your arms, your face, your thighs, anywhere that feels safe and neutral. Notice the temperature, the texture, the rhythm of your breathing. When you feel ready, You can gently explore more intimate areas with awareness. Move slowly. Breathe deeply. If you notice tension or guilt, pause and remind yourself, I am reconnecting, not rushing. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, reports that mindfulness-based touch therapy reduces cortisol, improves sleep quality, and enhances sensitivity by recalibrating the brain's reward pathways. In other words, when you touch yourself with presence, your body begins to trust you again. If you choose to use tools or vibrators, keep them at the lowest intensity possible. Think of this process as re-educating your nerve endings. Just as you wouldn't start running a marathon after years of inactivity, you don't need strong stimulation to wake up your body. Gentle consistency works better than intensity. Step 4. Support your hormones. Naturally, hormone decline plays a significant role in how your body responds to touch. While prescription hormone therapy can help some women, lifestyle-based hormone support is powerful on its own. Focus on healthy fats from sources like avocado, flaxseed, and olive oil. These nourish estrogen balance. Regular movement, even light walking, which boosts circulation and dopamine. Sleep. Restorative sleep enhances hormone regulation and emotional balance. Stress management, meditation, yoga, or gentle stretching reduce cortisol and improve libido. According to Mayo Clinic, women who maintain stable daily rhythms, consistent sleep, hydration, and activity experience fewer menopausal symptoms and better pelvic health outcomes than those who rely solely on medication. You can also speak with your healthcare provider about gentle topical estrogen or vaginal moisturizers approved by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, ACOG, if dryness or discomfort persists. These products can safely restore moisture and elasticity when used under guidance. Step 5. Reintroduce emotional intimacy. Physical healing is only one side of the story. The other is emotional connection, the feeling of being safe and seen in your own body. Start by replacing judgment with curiosity. Ask yourself, what do I actually enjoy? What feels soothing? What helps me relax? This gentle curiosity rewires the emotional brain, releasing oxytocin, the same hormone that deepens trust and emotional resilience. If you have a partner, share this journey with them. Let them know this isn't just about pleasure, it's about health, vitality, and connection. I've seen couples in their 70s rediscover closeness simply by talking about what they once avoided. But even if you're single, this process remains just as vital. Your body responds to your attention, not your relationship status. Step 6. Make it a ritual of self-respect. Healing intimacy is not a one-time fix. It's a practice of respect for your body. Think of it as tending a garden. Each small act of attention, each gentle breath, each mindful touch nourishes your nervous system, your hormones, and your sense of self-worth. Even 5 minutes a day, a moment of stillness, a stretch, a slow touch, sends a powerful biological message: I still matter. That message alone can lower blood pressure, boost endorphins, and rebuild your body's trust in itself. So, don't think of this as a routine. Think of it as a conversation, a language of care between you and your body that says, I am here. I'm listening. The women who commit to these small steps often tell me their lives change in ways they never expected: clearer thinking, better sleep, improved posture, deeper peace. When you nurture your pelvic health, you nurture your entire nervous system. You've just taken an important step, one that most women never give themselves permission to take. You've learned that intimacy after 60 isn't a closed chapter. It's a continuation of your body's natural wisdom, a renewal of connection, balance, and vitality that has been waiting quietly beneath the surface. Over the past few sections, we've explored how your body changes with time and how awareness, patience, and gentle self-care can reverse what once felt inevitable. You've learned that rushed or mechanical self-touch can desensitize your body and weaken your emotional connection. Avoiding intimacy doesn't protect you. It deprives your tissues of blood flow, elasticity, and hormonal balance. Shame and silence can be as damaging as any physical symptom, while compassion and curiosity begin the healing process. Your pelvic function is not just about sex. It's about circulation, bladder health, nerve health, and confidence. And most importantly, your body can heal and relearn at any age. It simply needs the right kind of care and attention. What's remarkable about this journey is that it doesn't require perfection, only presence. You don't need to reclaim your 30-year-old self. You're not trying to relive youth. You're embracing a more mature, grounded version of vitality, one rooted in wisdom and self-acceptance. Think about it this way. When you begin to honor your body again, your brain, your hormones, and your nervous system respond. The science is clear. Regular engagement with your body through gentle touch, movement, and awareness supports oxytocin production, lowers cortisol, improves mood, and strengthens your immune system. The result isn't just more comfort in your body, it's a more peaceful mind and a more joyful heart. Many of my patients describe this transformation in the simplest words: I feel alive again. That's the essence of what I want you to experience. Not just physical awakening, but emotional renewal, the sense that your body, mind, and spirit are once again on the same team. And remember, connection doesn't always mean sexual activity. It can be as simple as a warm bath, a stretch that opens your hips, a moment of deep breathing with your hand on your heart, or a slow touch that reminds your nervous system that you are still here. Every act of care is a message to your body. You are loved. You are safe. You are still mine. If you take nothing else from this conversation, let it be this: pleasure is not a luxury, it's biology. It's how your body maintains balance, how your hormones communicate, and how your mind remembers joy. You are not invisible. You are not past your prime. You are a woman whose body still holds incredible potential to heal, to feel, and to thrive. So tonight, I want you to give yourself one small gift. Not a routine, not a checklist, just a moment of gentle awareness. Maybe take a few deep breaths. Maybe touch your arm, your face, or your belly and whisper, "Thank you for carrying me this far." That's where healing begins, with gratitude, patience, and self-respect. And if this message spoke to you, please share it with another woman who might need to hear it. Because none of us should feel alone in this conversation. When we break the silence, we reclaim more than our health. We reclaim our dignity, our joy, and our belonging. If you found value in this video, subscribe for more evidence-based guidance on women's health after 50 and explore our free wellness guide linked below. Together, we can continue this conversation, one that celebrates the beauty, strength, and power of women at every stage of life. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Dr. Christina Northwell, reminding you that caring for your body, every part of it, is not selfish. It's sacred. Stay kind to yourself, stay curious, and stay connected. You are stronger, wiser, and more vibrant than you realize. Be well, and I'll see you in the next video.